Okay, hello? Hello?
Yeah, Ralph, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Councillor Wisa was on not too long and he dropped. We don't know what happened. Probably he's going to reconnect again. Welcome. Good evening to everyone. Ma, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got it clear, Ralph.
Jobo, you can hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so Ma, please, if you have the councillor number, can you use another phone to just call him quickly that he need to come out again?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on, small.
Okay.
Come on. Can you give me a number again?
I've sent it number to you. I didn't know you don't save it.
Oh, I'll come down. Don't wish me I have to.
Okay, just wait. I'll send a number to you. Just wait.
Oh.
Hello? We are waiting on you, Council. Yeah, but you are not in. We log in again. Log in. Okay, welcome, Councilor Wisa. Hello? Hello? Hello, Councilor Wisa. Can you hear us? Hello? Hello? Wow. The council drop again. Wow. Nothing is really difficult to deal with. I don't know what's the cause. Ma, Mr. Ma. Hello? Wow.
Are there?
Hello?
Yeah, you getting me? I'm getting you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry for the.
Okay. Jobo, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so like Clifford have a problem with his Clifford have a problem with a connection. So we just want to welcome Councillor Alfonso Wisse, a very proud son of Riwoji County. For those of you that didn't know him, Councillor Wisse served as county attorney for Riwoji for many years during Manaseli regime, more especially in the southeast. He served in other county in the southeast and then served in Riwoji for many years. Currently, Councillor Wisse is assistant minister at the Ministry of Justice for litigation, assistant minister of litigation. Clifford.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, please, you have to make sure your background is not really, we haven't getting feedback from your background.
No, okay, go on. I know that.
Yeah, we're getting feedback from somebody's background there. It's very terrible. Yeah. So Councillor, we said many of you might know him. Is a proud son of Riwoji County. Councillor Wisse has been dedicating his life to serving the county, and he has been involved in every activities of Riwoji County. Councillor Wisse was part of the many struggle to make Riwoji
I'm getting a program. I'll call you back. I'll text you, please.
An independent county today, and throughout, we have never backslide from any activity that have to do with Riwoji. I think one of the example is him appearing on our show today. I just contacted him yesterday, and then he said, Ralph, I'm available at any time that you people want me to come on the show to give my opinion on issues important to our county. So, as he said yesterday, today, he is here with us, trying to fulfill his commitment that he made to us yesterday. So it's one of the examples that we all need to know that Honorable Councillor Wisse are being a very dedicated and committed stakeman in our county. So this program is mainly meant to have an overview of the justice system in the county, in Riwoji County in particular. We would like to know what are the processes of the justice system in the county. How is the justice system working in the county? traditional justice, also the rule of law, and how some of the cases are handled. Because we all know that we still have our traditional practices in the county. We have our traditional way of dealing with issue of punishing issue. Then we have the rule of law. So how can we reconcile these two practices, and what have been some of the involvement? So tonight, we are happy to have with us Councillor Wise, who will be explaining to us some of these things that we need to know about regarding the justice system in the county. So, Councillor Wise, welcome.
Rob, it is a pleasure to be on your platform, the G Citizen Dialogue Forum this evening. As you regularly say, we are always available on us whenever we are called upon to come to be our quota to everybody. I also want to extend my compliments and other felicitations to your host, your co-host. I may not know some of them, but I think few because we are the ways in Africa at the same time, you're looking other individual I may not know about. I want to say welcome to every one of you. I just came home from work. Being on ERBC or Bomber Show 4 to 5 this evening, discussing nothing that has to do with the justice system, the prison overcrowding, and the rule of law, and the challenges that we are facing in our post system. That was a major headline on ERBC this evening around 7 p.m. news. So it's a pleasure.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Jowo, do you have something to say before we can start with the program? Any of you want to say something? While we wait, Madam Wilson, Madam Wilson might join us shortly. Yeah.
Well, yes, I would want to appreciate it also for coming on a short notice. I think I met him before when I used to be the registrar at the City of Duncan Middle School in Clariton. He had children there, Mary Wise Jr., and the rest of the folks when I was back home at City of Duncan Clariton.
Man, I'm minister now, so we calling him man, minister, Councillor Wise.
No, I said I don't know his son, like his son I'm referring to just now.
Wise,
I'm not referring to him. Councillor, I'm sorry, I'm talking to your GM.
No, I don't know. He's talking about my
back there at the middle school in Clariton.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah. That's with Mary in the office there.
That's true. That's a fact. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You are welcome once again. On a short notice. At least we were out of time to listen to the legal practitioners, the legal people that don't know the legal system of our country and both the country. So I want to say welcome again. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay, so Jowo is in the state. He is speaking from the US. And we have Clifford Mann. Clifford Mann, do you have something to say before we can move on?
Yeah, I want to say welcome, Councillor Wise.
Thank you.
Councillor Wise on 2 locations. I met him once at GM Bank, so down Ronald Street. He went there that day to do a transaction. We shook hands, and I introduced myself to him. But it takes a very long time now. We have not seen. I think a few days ago, I met him around Douala way there again. He want to go do some transaction in the bank, and I shake his hand and pass on. So I think it's a great opportunity for to be here.
Thank you, Clifford. Thank you.
Come again. Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Okay.
For all to meet there on the platform. I think from here we got to do each other better.
Okay. So
you're welcome, Mr. Wise.
Thank you, Clifford. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we begin a program by let's see to move. Okay, so Councillor Wise, we would like to hear from you. You're working in the county, doing Manaseri region. Up to now, you are still in the legal system. You still continue to work for our country. We would like to know exactly what are the way and processes the justice system work in the county, particularly River G, and how people are adhering to the rule of law. When I was small, we had our traditional people had their way of dealing with issues, the way of punishment, and the way of making people to adhere to the traditional practice. Now we have the rule of law, we have court, we have police in the county, and we have other legal system in the county. How are these systems working together for the good of our county?
Thank you very much, Ralph. I want to begin in November 2012 as county attorney. I was appointed by the former president, as he rightly said, as county attorney. We will give the court system, the entire judiciary, was almost like a new frontier. Because most of those that were practicing then were not law school graduates. They were just apprentice lawyers. So the real was never done, because once you have someone practicing who is now a lawyer under some error. So it was like a new frontier. So I went them first I was embraced by the people of Rivergy. The people embraced me. I was called out by the Podubo Elo. I told them my mission there was to ensure to seek justice, was to promote justice system. My mission there was not adversary to the traditional system, but however, we had to work together with that system, because over the years, that had been a method used by our people to dispense justice. But nowadays, you have turned to be harmful. So the justice system in Rivergy, you understand, we have a resident judge, Judge David Smith, we have the court system, the police are there. But it's somehow challenging. It's challenging because the distance, because there are some mobility issues. Also, there are some, when it comes to the whole system or court system, that many people comprehend what they call the court system. So when we were here, it was a little bit difficult to understand to spread the rule of law, but as time goes by, because 7 years we were here, people begin to understand the rule of law. People begin to understand that if a child is raped in a village, in Dublican, in Segam and video, or a child is raped while in Kiriwo, in any part of Rivergy, it is incumbent upon the town elders to have that individual arrested and turn them over to the police. That they are not there to arrest and investigate. They only need to arrest and turn over. So that crime, the rape, crime, the murder will never find the issues. If someone kills someone, the rule of law how to take it cool. So they begin to gradually understand what they call promotion of the rule of law, or what they call adherence to the rule of law. So now we are transitioned now after 6-7 years with serving the country. I can safely say now, understand that the point Rivergy County, unlike other counties, the Grand Crew, like part of Maryland, or the place they call Barrow that is close to Rivergy, people are saying trial by ordeal. Trial by ordeal is the administration of Sassewu to someone for the person to confess their guilt. That is according to our law in 1916. The Supreme Court bound the administration. They say the administration of Sassewu or trial by ordeal. So trial by ordeal now doesn't have any place in our justice system. So I can say for sure that over the year, besides what happened in Flower, so individuals were killed on the kind of big wish. Big wish in the town killing a lot of individuals, and as a result, 13 persons were arrested and brought to Kakata. The case was transferred from Rivergy to Kakata, Magiri County, and they were found guilty. But the court in Kakata in 2008, 2009, they were sentenced to life imprisonment. But Ellen Kimi, she granted executive clemency. Senator, understand, Senator incident in Flowerken, where Sassewu were ministers or some individual in Flowerken town, because they were wish. Senator, I've not seen anywhere in Rivergy or during the time for that town up to date for our people to administer Sassewu. I will agree. There are some form of harmful traditional practices that is ongoing. Those are isolated issues, but on a larger level, when it comes to administration of justice, our people, they are adhering to the rule of law.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Councilor, for the brief information that you just shared with us. I council would like to know what are the challenges when it comes to administering the rule of law in River G?
Firstly, we have the police, because the first law of the criminal justice system is the police. You have the court, you have the correction. We have an adequate police, police manpower in the country, and that is for sure. Not many police officers want to take assignment now, in the rural country. So the issue of police presence is an issue, understand, that we have to address as those understand that are working in the criminal justice system. The issue of the courts, because if someone commits an offense, understand, you got to have that person, brought before the court, because it's only the court that determines the guilt of the person. So we need to improve our court system. Up to now, River does not have a circuit court. The court are in River for 1 month and 1 week during the November turn of court as prosecuting Anthony, because the kind of attorney there, honestly, after the child maternity may be to Ashe, pass away during the August turn of court while on assignment. So I was forced to go to River for about 1 to prosecute those cases. Up to now, the cohort have not been completed. The code is operating in a continuum. So there are a lot of challenges. Also, to our people must also understand that if someone commits a criminal offense, you cannot use a jungle justice. You got to have that person brought to the police. People interfering rule of law. These are things that can hinder the administration of justice. The police will have to operate. Also have to have the court and also correction. So we have a prison facility in River County. Though our prison facility now is overcrowded because it was built for only 1 person. But to have 60% in jail alone at this critical time is very troubling. So I can say the prison is overcrowded by 1 River. I can reduce the prison, understand the prison, I can reduce, understand the prison rule and ensure it was brought about 40 or 45%. So there are a lot of, we have lawyers, not many lawyers. These days want to serve in County River, because the rules are very challenging. There are no logistics, there are no mobility. But so there are a lot of constraints that that are being plagued by by the system. You don't have a vehicle, county attorney no vehicle, a public defender no vehicle. Only the judge have vehicle. If you don't have a vehicle as a county attorney, how do you move around? Because you have to go over Wisdom, say how people brought to court on them. Public defender, there are no vehicle. So despite all these challenges, the public defenders and the prosecutor and the judge, they are working. The court is operating, but it's still operating in a continuum. We got to ensure that our court is constructed by the judiciary. I mean, I don't understand up to now why the court is not completed. The court in Lima County was built, and the one in Grand Gate was built and completed. So what River now we're gonna have a court completed. So it's an issue that the River should speak on. Contact the chief justice and the judiciary. Why up to now the court on River is not completed? We need more ministerial court. River have a 10 ministerial districts. I think my ministerial courts will have a 10 ministerial courts over River County. So those courts, understand, we need court horses. And not just a man touch horse, understand, in someone's bedroom, then you're operating your court. You need a court facility. Because you have a court facility that can also serve as a deterrent. So there are a lot of challenges, but in spite of that, also, we are working to ensure that people understand the rule of law, they understand that people have justice, and they understand that justice is administered, understand, with fairness.
Okay, Council, thanks so much. For the issue of the court, I'm witnessing that almost all of the county have magisterial courts that have been built. I saw the magisterial code that is being built in Sino County when I passed to Sino is compared to
that is a circuit code. That is a circuit code.
Okay, the circuit code. I think is compared to the one that is to the Temple of Justice there.
Of course, they were built by Johnny Lewis.
So I, to the best of my knowledge, I think Saint Emma was given to other county to construct this circuit code. So River need to, so we have to make a follow up as to why up to now River is yet to have a circuit code, and we are operating in a continuum, all-mill continuum that was just meant for quick impact project, there where people are going to adjudicate their cases or whatever it is. So I think this is a serious concern, and we will want to know more about what happened to the Circle Code for which it have not been finished or it have not been constructed. So thank you for providing that information. So Council, another thing that I want to know is that you talk about lack of mobility, the public defender, the police, and the the county attorney, the magistrate, all of the people don't have the means of movement to get, and the police especially, the police need to have mobility because the police are the first responding to crime, to whatever that happens. So if the police are not mobile, how do we expect them to move from one destination to another in order to tackle crime or to be able to establish evidence or fact for issues that may have legal implication? So that's a serious concern that we think our leaders need to look in that direction. So one of the things is, how is the justice system moving in the country? Let's say, for example, you have places like Jakaken. Jakaken, there's no police detachment in Jakaken. Jakaken has about 2,000 inhabitants in Jakaken. You have places like major towns in Wiwoji, do not have police establishment or police officer there. You only have police in Fishtown, Kamweken, Jubiken, just few towns that are commercial. So how is it really helping our people?
Well, these are one of the challenges that Edo spoke on. The presence of police in every facet of the country is very important, because if we have police in every nook or corner of the country, that can serve as a deterrent. He spoke about Jakaken. Jakaken is a very big, very large town with a very huge population of 2,000 persons. And you also know that anytime, every time we have an election, politician rushing to Jakaken, for the vote out there. But what they be doing in Jakaken? You don't have a police. You have a ministerial code. Understand? That was created. Understand? But there's no code facility. It's being run on a Panama, on a Panama host in Jakaken. Other time, that is very unique. So if you don't have police presence in Jakaken, in Yonken, in Bauriken, understand, that can cause serious problem, because if someone commits crime, understand, into 2 seconds, and the person, either the person is arrested or the person has come, how do you get the person? All the time will take to have the case reported to the police. That takes a lot of time. So I think the presence of police in Wiwoji or every part of the country is very important, because when there's no police presence in the area in the country, that can serve to motivate criminals. So we need to encourage national government to have more police deployed in the country, to help the people, because the police are there. They are peace officers. They are there to ensure that, understand, that people, nobody infringes on the right of another person. So yeah, very serious. Once you can't have a ministerial code, there are no police. Understand? The magistrate there serve as a police officer. He serve as an investigator. He even serve as a prosecutor. So the presence of police is very cardinal to the dispensation of justice. Very important.
Okay, Council, another question will have to do with I will give my colleague chance to ask question. Mr. Mai and Jobo. Are you saying that people are doing away with the traditional practices in the county? Or if not, how can we reconcile the rule of law with the traditional practices? Because I listened to one of our chief, Asei, who is one of the traditional chiefs in the country, that said that we cannot do away with our traditional practices. We have to teach our children to know our traditional practices, and we'll continue to go on to them. So these are customary cultural practices. How is the law? How can we reconcile these practices with the rule of law? Let's say, for example, you have Jakaken where there's no police officer. If, for example, there was to be a crime committed there, you don't have a police officer there that can that can arrest a situation and restore calm, how do we expect the people there to go about doing those things? Should we expect them to use their own law, their own way, their culture, their traditional practice to deal with the situation, or should we just leave it as it is? How can this be done?
Well, the traditional practices over the years was used by our people to administer.
Zoom conversation here.
So were used over the years by our people to administer justice. But where it becomes harmful, where it becomes harmful practice, where because someone kill another, allegedly kill another person, you administer sasewu and the person die, where a person another individual, rape a child in the time Jiraken, then you want to compromise that case, say because the issue of rape is a batio issue, then it becomes very harmful. So if someone commits a crime, someone kill it. If someone commit a crime, someone kill, understand, someone rape somebody, what you need to do? Have that person arrested, understand, turn over to the police, but not to administer justice. You can't say they rape case. Nobody should take the rape case and report the case to the police. And when that happens, that hinders the administration of justice. So where it is not harmful, then I understand we have to accept that. But once it takes away life, once it imposes heavy fine, then it becomes very harmful. If someone kill, somebody rape, somebody steal, I mean that can be handled, understand, to have the person found. For example, somebody stole, for example, stole rape from the farm. Then you see when the person stole the rape, understand. So for that reason, the person should bring cow. Understand? Is that a courthouse? I mean, you cannot demand you cannot demand cow from the person. If somebody stole from you, report the case to the police. So I mean, it is accepted.
So council, yes, council, I agree with you that people have to respect the rule of law by reporting cases. But how can someone who is in, let's say for example, who is in Glaro, where there is no rule, where you have to work for about 2 to 3 days before you can get there due to bad road condition, and there's no police officer. You only have police officer in the capital city of Rivergy, Fishtown. So how do you expect the people there to report the cases? Yeah, even they don't have the means of transportation. Well, and sometimes if they call the police do not have vehicle to go there and arrest the situation. How do we expect them to go about these things? And sometimes the doers pull on violence and try to resist, and arrest, and some of those things happen.
But what because I want to commend the GSN company and the Senco and Lone Star, they have the president now in more part of the country. So if somebody commits rape in Glaro Yuba, and the person is arrested by the town people, I'm understand. The town people keep the person in the paramount chief house or commissioner house and call the police to proceed to Glaro Yuba. So that does not really affect it, except the police movement. And that's a problem. When police get to Glaro Yuba or whatever, I mean, we understand the constraint, but the paramount chief or the commissioner or the town people, they are there to hold on to that person until the police arrive. Because once you call the police, you face them, the police will respond. And so that have been happening. But I don't want to believe another that's a real way to solve the problem. The real way to solve the problem, is to have a police in Glaro Yuba, to have a police in Freetown, to have a police in Kodakuri, to have a police in Tauroken. Understand? To have a police in Yinabokabuken. The person must be fair over G County or over the country. But how be it, because it's not possible. So people always use the primary chief, the town chief, the clan chief to get to the police when someone commits a hideous crime, they were rape or murder or armed robbery. So I understand these are some of the challenges. So our people they are managing it. Our area there's a guy who came his frame in Glaro Yuba, either Glaro Freetown, and the guy brought a fish after the call. They call my office, we'll send the police there, and the police brought him to town.
Okay. Probably, man, any of you have a question to ask the minister?
Yeah, thank you very much, Minister. One question I want to ask you, you talk about the the Saki code. I want to understand. Everybody doesn't have the Saki code, or the Saki code exists, but in terms of structure, there's no structure there. That's the point I want to get there.
Rivergy is a 15 judicial circuit code. Rivergy have a circuit, but Rivergy doesn't have a circuit code. There are no code building. The one that is being used now is abandoned on-mail continuum that is being used by the circuit code. Every circuit must have a code building. It is a code building. It is a code building that makes the code. It's not just by mouth. It must be by structure. So Rivergy has to speak. For the last 10 years, they have been building that cohort. The cohort is not completed. The same feature is not completed. It's not even roof. The first time it was constructed, it was constructed, below the pipe. It did not mean that was last specification. So it was demolished and rebuilt, but for the last 5 years, it said be constructed, it have not been finished. It because a sacred cow. So Rivergy here, we have a circuit, but we don't have a code. The code is nice in a continuum. Wherever the sun is shining, there's no ventilation. There are people sweating in their gowns, and that becomes very unbearable to the people. So yeah, we don't have a code building.
So I think is part of the violation of people who have problem and went to the court to seek justice. They have to be in a very safe and conducive environment. You cannot have a continuum where you cannot go and sit even when there is a very hot weather. You cannot do that. That's a very I think we have to bring this issue to the attention of our leaders, the county legislative caucus, and the county superintendent. They have to come and give some clarity on this project as to what is responsible for up to now Rivergy as not being able to have a structure if the money is available and how the money was used. Because we want a very effective rule of law in our country and in our county. We want for our citizens to be respected of the law. We want for Rivergy to always be distinguished from other counties as one of the counties that respect rule of law and that's always there to stand by the law. So if these facilities are not put into place to make our people to respect the rule of law, definitely they will take the law into their hands and they will start to go back to the same traditional practices that we try to push against today. Because they see it just like someone in a town committed crime and say that no one can arrest him. And we don't have police around. And he want to commit another crime and the citizen try to deal with him, and the law will come. The law says, no, you don't have the right to do this and to do that. Sometimes it takes the power from our people and it's also encourage those criminals to continue to commit crimes and to continue to create instability in our communities, in our various towns. So I think this is a very serious issue, and we would like to have the state legislative caucus chairperson to speak on the issue very soon. Yeah. So we will take question again.
Brad, thank you. My next question will be that the councillor talked about the prison being overcrowded. It was built for like 50 persons. I think if I get it right, they said the prison was built for 50 persons, and now the prison is like overcrowded.
I think it's 100.
So that come again.
No, it was built for 100 persons.
I think I heard 100.
Okay. Well, the prison was built for 100 persons. Yeah. So, councillor, because my thinking is, if there is no good structure for court, then I just want for you to tell how do the prison really looking like in terms of the structure.
No, the prison was constructed. Yeah, the prison was constructed by OMIL through the Quick Impact Project. It's an OMIL Quick Impact Project. It's a concrete building. I think it means our library minimum standard of the prison. It was constructed by OMIL Quick Impact Project. So it was built by one real person, but if we have 5 persons, in one real person facility, that is also considered to be prison work right now. Because I mean, you can have one real person crying in a one real person place. Even though you are a one real person, but you have a lot of people in there, so it's also prison work right now. That's why I said that, because I mean, if the prison people one real person, you have 35, 50% at least, it's okay. But you have 75% in the prison, like prison work right now. That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's a very good bill. It may not be the international stand-up or Liberia stand-up. It's better than other countries in the Grand Crew, where there are no prison Grand Crew. So at least you have a prison facility. Because if you don't have a prison facility, how do you administer justice? If someone is convicted, how do you confine that person? And not at the police station, it will be in a prison facility. In Grand Crew, if someone is convicted, the person either sent to Harper or the team bring out at the Backlevel police station. They don't have a prison facility. That is also affecting us when it comes to administration of justice. So Rogi is better than what Grand Crew, because Rogi have a prison facility that was built by Omni Quick Impact Project.
Okay, thank Council. Jobo, do you have a question? Do you have something to say?
Yeah, it's not really a question, I just want to share this. Yeah, the council have said it, or that everything he has said, it makes a lot of sense. For somehow we have not stayed too long on that side, so the very connection of the very places, we don't know them. So, but something he said that I took very, very keen to it is that the way in which the cases are handled, because once there is no police somewhere, because I felt that same way before, it can be near you. Sometimes things happen at the particular moment, and you want to get justice at that moment. You can't get justice, you can't get police. Sometimes people come to you, you're homogenized, and want to sleep on your mind or something, or you sleep over something. The next day, to really take that decision you want to take before it be difficult. Like an issue of rape. If somebody is called raping somebody, or somebody involved in rape, and they try to get police officer to come, the police officer come, and that person parents or that place, they try to handle the family way, it will be very easier to handle the family way than to wait for the police, or to wait for the justice ministry or any other group of people that can handle such cases. So he said it already. One of the things I would know for, and you have said that with a rap, that it would be very good that we arrange the legislative caucus chairperson. I think he's Honorable Topo, right?
Yes, Honorable Topo.
One of them are the legislative caucus chairperson, or maybe the superintendent, so we can be able to hear from him too. These challenges that the judge setting is facing, as well, they get idea or they got knowledge on it, and how we can easily tell them so they can be able to handle it and make it be. That's all I have in mind to say for now, until there is any issue that will come up again while we continue to discuss.
Okay, thank you, Jobo. Okay, so quickly, before we can take it to you, you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask the council a question, because he talked about Grand Crew. He said Grand Crew, while we were discussing the issue about the prison, he said River G has a good prison as compared to River G and to that of Grand Crew. Right? Yeah. So I want to find out, during this time as a county attorney, what was the working relationship that is between River G, Sino, Grand Crew, and that of Maryland in terms of tracking criminals? Because where there is no jail, maybe someone will do something at the end of the day, then they will run away. So what was their working relationship?
Oh well, very, very cordial. If you further River G creation around 2004 to 2005, before the election, there was a serious murder that took place in Fisher, on a village in Fisher on Barabo Road, where two brothers, the Kuyete, Jerry and Fessor Kuyete, killed one global wizard. The guy was Busher.
I know that story.
The guy was Busher, and they came to town boasting. They were arrested, they broke jail, and they fled into Sano. They are from Gilebo in Sano County. It's a sub-Grebo tribe in Sano County. They were there 10 years on the road. But something happened at the national park, at the Sapo National Park, where they were digging gold. One of them was digging gold. One of them was doing gold. He lays a gold mine in the area, and he fought a guy. He had a guy wounded seriously. He was arrested by the police and brought to Greenville. I go halfway when you brought to the magistrate because when they killed him was Jonathan, the knee spread all over the southeast. The knee spread all over southeast, the knee spread. So when the guy was brought, when Derek Quater was brought to the magistrate court in Greenville to be trial, when the magistrate asked for your name, he said, "What your name?" This is my name, Derek Quater. The magistrate came and said, he said, "Derek Quater?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay." So the magistrate called the county attorney. The county attorney at that time was Adolphus Canoa. He called Adolphus Canoa. He said, "Call your colleague, there's a guy here who I know, in 2005, I killed a man here, brother. And that guy needs some like the man. I will call, that I had a brand new pickup. I will call, and I got a case, I got a file from the clerk of the court then. I proceeded to Greenville, and I brought Jerry Quater. Jerry Quater was tried, he was convicted. 3 years after he was convicted, I got information that Fessor was a hunter in Gidewo. The time in Gidewo, a brother Fessor was a hunter. Somebody coming from Gidewo, that guy was a hunter, used to ride people in the forest. He was hunting on the edge of the national park. I said, we say Tauri. There's a guy called we say Tauri. Another guy, they went in the main village and brought a man from there to Fishtown. So it was because of that connection. So Gidewo, we said, okay, 10 years back, understand, he killed our brother Justice. I did not be for the magistrate, understand, I arrested a man, the man called a real, he never considered a name. And the brother were arrested, and both of them that killed Gidewo, we said, are now being barred facing justice. They are being barred. 50 year each. It was because of the connection between Ruogi, County Attorney, and the County Attorney of Sano County. And we have a lot of collaboration with our colleague in the region. So we're always working together, you understand, giving information one another to ensure people who broke jail in Ruogi, that were inside and were arrested. Yeah, it was very important. Coordination is always important. So I just sought to bring over the issue of we said okay by the Quinty to arrest them and they're in jail in Zouadou. 50 year of imprisonment term.
Okay, so Council, I have a question about the issue of pre-detention in the county. It has been a very serious concern, even in Monrovia, where we have the Temple of Justice. People always complain about people being held pre-detention and waiting for trial, and they cannot be tried for so long. So how is it like look at where we have limited safety, people being held behind bars for so long and they cannot go to court? And like you rightly said, that we have a container that is being used as our circuit court, where there cannot be people voting. So how is it in the county, the issue of pre-detention and people waiting trial and they cannot be tried due to the facilities? Trial.
Well, the issue of pre-detention or prison work crime is an issue that is not only restricted to Ruogi County. It's an issue that is unique all over Liberia. It's a serious issue. If somebody commits a crime, the person will be brought to court or be tutored or court. It's also a human rights issue because if it is so understand over the period the person is not brought into the court for trial, they also have a human rights issues. So it's an issue understand of what we are confronted with, whether it's in Ruogi, whether it's in Bojama, whether it's in Sando. Prison overcrowding and prison prolonged pretrial detention is an issue that we are confronted with. So I recognize that will be a very major challenge of facing our system. But in Ruogi, what we're doing in Ruogi is to ensure that we reduce the prison overcrowding. But the only thing is to have a very fast track court or to have the court system sit there on time to try more cases, because when we're in Ruogi County, we're to try 3 cases, 1 murder case, 1 manslaughter, and 1 rape cases with the NIU conviction. or the rape was given 15 years, what they murder 20 years, what they manslaughter, they got given 5 years. So that also helps. So one people that commits heinous crime and murder, rape, all they want to do is to move them from Fishtown to Zwedru Correctional Palace. You got an easier way to decongest Fishtown or Greenville or Harper Prison. You remove them to what the Zwedru Correctional Palace. Because the Correctional Palace was built to rehabilitate, convicts. So what we're doing now is doing the drastic to move more convicts to Zwedru, for rehabilitation. Because when Zwedru can host people that are convicted with long-term imprisonment and have their place there. While they are there, they undergoing trade, they undergoing rehabilitation, and they cannot build their own skills. So when they come outside from the prison, they'll be very useful to society.
Okay. Yeah, man, do you have something to say? Okay, so so we take there go. We don't have time that we have just 5 minutes to conclude. So you can ask the questions so our council can conclude with. We can ask you for concluding statements.
Most people are saying, because for me, most people are saying, for me, I'm not going to quote yet. Most people are saying that our justice system is corrupt. So how can you speak to that?
Well, that's a perception. For someone who claim that the system is corrupt. I've heard about this. We know there are some challenges, but to say corruption or system is corrupt, I don't want to believe that. I mean the system is challenged. So people have that. It's just a issue of perception. It's a perception. But justice is given based on the rule of law. It's given based on the facts and the law in the issue in the case. So I don't want to believe that just because if I say justice is corrupt or the court is corrupt, they are also indicting myself because I'm officer of the court. I'm armed with the court. But I will say that's a mere perception in the public that the court system is very corrupt. If you tell them to bring evidence, they will not bring evidence. So why is the evidence in the court is corrupt? So
you want to try to cancel my?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's a public perception that the court corrupt. But if you have a case in court, I don't know. You have a fair trial, I don't know. So when justice is blind, So when it doesn't go your way, it doesn't mean the system is corrupt. It's because the law sees it and how the judge sees it. So just to be corrupt, I don't know that. I wouldn't know it's a perception, public perception.
Okay, so the issue of arbitrary arrest and detention have been a serious concern in the country. Last year there was only one Justina here was brutalized by the officer in Ibeto County, and she got banned from that particular assault. Police brutality, arbitrary detention, and arrest. We have been having some cases where police without food will use foods to run on citizens and try to get them forcefully. What do you mean responsible for all of those things?
Well, police SSs around the world is not only Liberia unique. You remember the guy that was killed in America, where the police, the black lives.
Do you acknowledge that these things happen in Rivergy, that our people are being victims of police brutality?
I agree. What I'm saying, police SSA is something that that is not only unique in Rivergy County, but the police have a mechanism that is put in place that when you breach the ethic, they can take you through the professional ethic. That always was this rule. I think you are charged with court and you'll be prosecuted. I understand you are charged.
But it has been almost a year now, and you are saying that you were charged and you will be prosecuted.
I have to make sure now on that case because when you're in Rivergy, after other major cases, I will call the county attorney there and know how far the case. I'll call the police, but I want to believe that the guy was disrupted.
Okay, so we have we have another question that has to do with the treatment of detainees. How is it like in the country?
Well, they are fair 2 times a day. They are not being manhandled. As I said, going on those days where detaining is manhandled, is mistreated, is flogged, or it doesn't happen. Understand? They are there. They are fair 2 times a day. And one if you know the one inmate fall sick, is taken to the hospital for treatment. So we have the Fisher Medical Center. So I mean, issue of violation of the right of the detainees. Understand? It may not be understand. 100%, up to what we expect it to be, but at least the prison is being managed, well managed. They surrounding the prison, they have agricultural activity going, they have cassava, they got plenty, they got other crops, you understand, they can go, they attend to someone, they can come, or few they can come and cultivate for the rest of them, so they are being well fed. So now they sell the supply in the market. I was there in Fish, they got the cassava leaf, not cassava leaf, but they have the potato grain, they have the cabbage, and the other one, all around the prison. They even got some cattle there. Sometimes they kill chicken, they eat them and sell, so it being well managed. Yeah, there nobody have died in a prison regime before, that's my knowledge.
Okay, so let's talk about the other issue that has to do with the public defense, people hiring private lawyers in Reward. How is it possible?
Private lawyers?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have private lawyer. They will have public defenders, and they will have 2 public defenders in Reward County. They always handle private cases, so there's no issue of lawyer issue in Reward County. Anybody that is aggrieved, they have a right to take lawyer from Monrovia and say when you say you are indigent, you kill, you rape somebody, you can't file a defense counsel. The government give you one. Public defenders, they are government lawyers. So they are there, they're doing their job, they're government lawyers, they are there doing their job. Because if you are brought before the court, it level you to say you want the public defender to defend you or you want to take a lawyer from Monrovia, the court will give you time to bring a lawyer from Monrovia. If you get full, so government provide lawyer, the lawyer government provide a public defender, they are there doing the job, just that the prosecutor, all we are being paid by the government Liberia, will have a specific tax at all. So they are government lawyers to the public defenders.
Okay.
So the issue of Councillor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know something. I've not got it before. So those councillors that serve a public defender, if you are taking a court and you don't have a lawyer, they plead your case free of charge?
Yes, free of charge. They are government paid lawyers. Government paid them. They are not private lawyers.
Okay.
If somebody kills, somebody rape, they defend. You don't need to get a cent. Under the prosecutor, you don't get your money. You don't get no money. They are being paid by the government. And they are being paid by the taxpayer money to defend people that refer to as indigent. Those who cannot afford lawyer, they defend you. You don't get 1 cent.
Okay, that's good.
So, Council, recently we had a this guy will mess me up. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
I hear you.
Okay, so recently we had a situation Chico, the Chinese company that building a road. It's from River Chico was abused, physically assaulted one of the Chinese worker. And up to now, the case have not been adjudicated. What do you think is responsible for that? People are being really complaining about that they are treating our people in the county. They are not respecting labor law. They are not respecting the right of Rewardians that work with them. They beat on our citizens and do whatever they want to do to them, and no one's talking about it.
Well, I don't have information to that, to that effect. I will work on that, and because I cannot speak to that because I'm not really in the county working in the county. I say I was there for about a month, but that was not brought to my attention. So I cannot speak to you.
Okay, so Council, before we leave you, we want to conclude with the issue of rape in the county. What have been the level of the rape cases and how these rape cases are being handled in the county?
Yeah, we have rape cases in Rogi. They are there. I mean, somebody raped somebody is an allegation. You have to be arrested, charged, your court, and indicted. And you are brought before the court to exonerate yourself. So it's an allegation, yes. Maybe our special cases, understand whatever they do occur. What we ensure that the individual is giving his right in court. In the individual is paid beyond bar while within trial. Their rights are protected. So there are rapes in the country. I left some rape cases in the country. There are rape cases on the docket. They are there. They are river over. But once they come, understand, we'll have them indicted and we'll have them tried. When they are convicted, we'll send them to Sweden. So any part of Liberia, rape is a serious issue in the country. So we do have some individuals in jail that wouldn't try for rapes.
Go over 1 or 2 hours so you can sleep. Okay, Council, you have done well. I know the water Ralph left a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Not on. Councilor Wisa?
Yes.
We say thank you ever so much. We appreciate the idea for you being on the platform tonight, and we learn a lot. And thank God. Ralph is back. Ralph, continue.
Okay, so thanks so much, Councilor Wisa, for this very informative discussion. Yeah, I heard a lot of Rewarding who watching the show. The show is being shared on the Rewarding platform where we have citizens all around the world who are also monitoring the show live, and they will also show some record that will be kept for generation to come. So like we said, the issue of rape is a very serious national issue, and Rewarding is exempted from that particular issue that is really having a very negative impact in our country. What is the way of dealing with Rewarding or even in the country? How do you think people can minimize or prevent the issue of rape? Because the last time we heard that there should be a capital punishment for those who rape. What is your view on this? Do you think we don't have good legislation or statutory law that can help to prevent or to minimize the issue of rape in our country? Hello?
Well, I think you're breaking and I think he didn't get that question because myself you sounded broken.
Okay, so you can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Council, can you hear me? Okay, I think he had a problem with his talk. Hello, Council. So Council just dropped the line. Probably he will return very soon. So, gentlemen, I think we all listen to Councilor Wisa for very, discussed very lengthily, and I think the information that he provides need to be taken into consideration. Number one, in order to promote the rule of law, the security office of the police in a country has to be empowered. You cannot have a county everybody where you don't have a single police vehicle. How do you expect police to move from one destination to another in order to tackle crimes and bring, people that are liable to justice? And it's a very serious concern. Also, with the system, will be able to give a speedy trial of those that are being accused of crime or whatever has to do with the rule of law. So I think it's a very serious concern, and our leaders, beginning from county authority, have to take interest in making sure that we have a very good rule of law that is respected and efficient to creating the kinds of good environment, for safe environment, that everybody will be on the country. People can go believing that they will be protected, they will have all the security that they need to move on. So we don't want to have a country that will be very hostage, where people can commit crime anytime and they cannot be brought to justice. So we were taking interest in this issue that has to do with our circle code, and that has to do with employing the police in the country to be able to move from one place to another, to be able to tackle crimes and resolve other issues that need not to be brought up. So that here consultation is off. I don't think that we will get in game, but we just want to say thanks to him for his participation tonight. There was a very important invitation. But he took all his time to be part of this program. I think it's very valuable, and we want to appreciate him for his time. Yeah, so we are about to come to the end of the program. If any of you have something to say, we can conclude the program for tonight.
Well, from my end, Rob, I just want to appreciate you also for initiating such a discussion with the councillor. And I pray that as we continue this platform, we will be able to exceed this number that we're on right now. Because I think on Saturday we were about the same number of persons. But I know the country, a lot of people face ready to get on the platform.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you also. And after they go and pay the call to the same councillor, and appreciate him for being part of our show. We didn't say it to him and he left. But it's a Cuban that it is very important that we call on, because everything he said, he was very blunt and very clear to it as a person who believes in the rule of law and justice for his country and for the country. He didn't have anything from us. He said everything clear, how the only code, the salary code is continue. There are no police in some places. There are so many things in some places that are happening and something happening there. He said it. So he left with us now to see how best we can engage our leaders, those that are in authority in the country, like in control of the county development fund, like the PNC and other stuff, then to see how to weather up our legislators, to see how to, because that oversight for them. They will let them represent, to make laws and for oversight. So once you are representative or you are senator in the both houses, and in your county back home there is no police, there is nothing, like the judge system is not too straight there, then it's Cooper that we call you to order and make sure you understand anything, so you at least you can advocate for us to get what we're supposed to get. Because all that kind of benefit as the councilor said. And the coding grand jury, they say BA in less than 10 months, in Nimba BA within that same time. And I think the same money that was used to build the codes in the various counties were allocated to us too. Where did our own go?
So this is a very important and very serious discussion. We would like to have the county superintendent on our next discussion, or someone, one of the county authority, to give us detail, because it's not just the circuit court that has not been built. We have other projects in River G. We have the guest house that have been there for almost 10 years and cannot finish. We have other projects, government projects, where almost 90% of the money paid to the contractors or not paid to the contractors, money were taken from the county development fund to facilitate this project. But up to now, we cannot identify a single project that has been completed successfully in the county. I think this is a very serious concern. And the circuit code is not exempted from this project. The circuit code is very important. We need justice in our county. We want for our people to respect the rule of law, but we also need to establish a mechanism that will make our people to have confidence and trust that whenever they have issues, the law will be there to defend and to give them justice. So the issue of mock violence, the issue of people returning to traditional practices is because they have no confidence in the rule of law anymore, and because they cannot access justice so easily. So like the question that I posed to council about someone in Glau Yuba, where you have rivers that there's no car cannot even go there. And police officer can, even if you call for a police officer, he doesn't have transportation to go there. So what happens if someone was to commit a crime there? What should the people do? The people of the town, they don't have transportation to transport that particular criminal or to fish town or other areas that have justice, or that they can access police, or so they will have to use the traditional law to deal with a person. And when it's happening, the law will come in to defend that particular criminal, that they were wrong to do that. They needed to report the person to the police, or use the rule of law to have, So I think these are issues that we need to talk about. We really need to talk about the issue. And in our next podcast, we will be asking some of our leaders, to appear on the show, so that they will be able to tell us what have happened to the many projects. Like when I was in Liberia 2018, we had the county sitting from 2018 up to now. County sitting have not been held. A single county sitting have not been held. What have happened? That we cannot have a county sitting. There have been no report from the county. There have been no report, be it from our legislators or from the local administration. We do not know what's going on in the county, and everyone just behind politics, who become senator, who become representative, everybody in the county just pushing politics, and we are forgetting to deal with the real issues. So I think this show is meant to discuss some of these issues and find a way out.
Thank you, Ralph. You said it all, but I think inviting our guests on the platform, I think these are issues that we'll be able to discuss. So I think we should leave them for now. But what we need to do is to place calls to them. Any of them that will accept our invitation, so I can come up, will be available all the time, especially at this time. It will be available to be able to throw our questions, to be able to ask questions at the end of the day, so our followers can be able to get some of what is happening back home. So I think I appreciate it, and we are looking forward to you during the weekend, so that we can have one more show again.
Okay, thank you so much, and I want to appreciate all of you. Have a good night, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Okay, Ralph. We'll see you another time. We know what will be the next podcast.
No, maybe you inbox us.
Okay.